The alien in the forest. She was not from Earth, but Earth would soon become the place that changed her life. Forever. Zyra's ship crashed in the middle of the night. The sky burned red as her small scout pod hit the Earth's atmosphere. Trees cracked. The ground shook. Fire lit up the forest as the pod smashed into the ground. Zyra crawled out, her body shaking. Her silver skin was covered in cuts. One leg was broken. Her breathing was heavy. Her blood, blue and thick, dripped onto the leaves. The mission had failed. She was alone. Her name was Zyra. She was a scout from the Valari Empire, a powerful alien race. Her mission was simple: land on Earth, collect data, and report back. But now she was stranded and dying. Zyra pulled herself into the shadows, away from the burning ship. She couldn't walk. Her arm was injured too. She dragged her body with her one good hand. She found a quiet spot near a large tree, where the ground was soft and cold. There, she curled up and waited. Her body burned with fever. The Earth's air was different. Its bacteria were attacking her system. Her translator was damaged. Her suit was torn. And her communicator, gone. She was scared. She had always been told Earth was dangerous. Humans were called the cursed ones in her home world. Violent, wild, unpredictable. Never trust a human, her training officer had said. If you're caught, you'll be tortured. Zyra believed them. She had seen videos, old footage from orbit, showing wars, bombs, and fire. But now, lying on the cold ground, she had a different fear. Not death, but being alone. Hours passed. The sun rose. Birds chirped. Insects buzzed. The forest came alive. Zyra could hardly move. Her stomach growled, but she had no food. Her wounds were getting worse. Her eyes were closing. She was too weak. Then, she heard something. Crunch, crunch. Leaves moved. Twigs snapped. Zyra's heart raced. Her body froze. Was it a human? A predator? She tried to hide, but it was too late. Something was coming closer. A shadow appeared through the trees. And then, a nose. A wet black nose. Zyra held her breath. It wasn't a human. It was a dog. Golden fur, big brown eyes, a tail wagging slowly. It stood a few feet away, watching her. Zyra blinked. She had never seen such a creature. It looked soft and kind. The dog stepped closer. Zyra pulled back, hissing in fear. Her fingers sparked with weak energy, ready to defend herself. But the dog didn't attack. It just sat down, tilted its head, and let out a soft woof. She stared at it. The creature didn't look dangerous. Its eyes were gentle. The dog stood again, sniffed her arm, then turned around and disappeared into the trees. Zyra watched it go. Was it curious? The next morning, Zyra woke to a soft sound. Crunch, crunch, again. The dog was back. But this time, it had something in its mouth. A small plastic bag. Inside it was food. Human food. A half sandwich. A piece of bread. Zyra stared, confused. The dog placed the bag near her, sat down, and wagged its tail. Zyra reached for the food slowly. Her hands were shaking. The dog didn't stop her. She sniffed it, then took a small bite. It was old but edible. Her body needed it. She ate slowly, never taking her eyes off the dog. After she finished, the dog came closer. It gently licked her injured arm. Zyra flinched, but it didn't hurt. It was soft, warm. Tears filled her eyes, not from pain, from confusion. Why was this Earth creature helping her? She had been told Earth was a cruel place. This creature didn't know her, didn't care what planet she was from. Yet it showed kindness. Zyra weakly lifted her hand and touched the dog's fur. The dog leaned into her touch. For the next 2 days, the dog came back again and again. Each time, it brought something. Food, a cloth, water from a plastic bottle. Zara's wounds stopped bleeding. Her fever dropped. She started to heal, slowly. She began talking to the dog, even though she knew it couldn't understand. She called him Hope, because that's what he had given her. But Zara knew time was running out. Her infection was growing inside. Her body needed real medicine, and she was too weak to move. One night, she whispered to the dog, "Go, find someone." She pointed in a direction. "Human. Help." The dog looked at her, then ran into the darkness. Zara lay back, eyes heavy. Her last thought before sleep was simple. If a dog could be kind, maybe humans were not monsters. A dog named Max. The forest was quiet that morning. The sun rose slowly, casting golden light between the trees. Birds sang softly. The wind moved gently through the leaves. But something was different. Max was not just any dog. He was trained, smart, loyal, and he had a mission now, one he had chosen on his own. Max had found something deep in the woods, something not from this world, and though he didn't understand what she was, he understood pain. He understood loneliness. He had seen it in her eyes. Max had once been a military dog. He served beside soldiers, sniffing out bombs, finding lost people, helping in rescue missions. He had retired early after an explosion injured his leg. A kind man named Liam adopted him, and they moved to a small wooden cabin near the forest. Life was peaceful now, quiet, safe, until Max found her. Liam stood on the porch with a mug of coffee, looking into the trees. "Where do you go every morning now?" he asked as Max came running back, panting hard. There was dirt on Max's fur and something red near his paw. Not blood, paint, or was it something else? Liam frowned. Max barked once, loud and sharp, then tugged at Liam's pants. "You want me to follow you?" Max barked again. Liam sighed. "All right, buddy. Let's go see what's got you so worked up." The path was rough. Thick roots, sharp branches. Max moved fast, stopping now and then to check if Liam was behind. It took almost 20 minutes. And then Liam saw her. At first, he thought it was a body, maybe a hiker, but as he stepped closer, he froze. This was no human. Her skin was silver. Her face looked almost human, but her eyes were larger and glowing faint blue. She had strange patterns on her arms, like veins made of light. Her clothes were torn, dirty, not like anything from Earth. She was breathing, barely. "Max, what the hell is this?" Liam whispered. The dog stepped forward and sat beside her, tail still wagging. The alien girl opened her eyes slowly. Her body tensed. She tried to move, but her arm gave out. She gasped and held it close. Liam raised both hands. "Easy. I'm not going to hurt you." She stared at him with wide eyes. Her lips moved. "No, kill me." The words were broken, strained, but she had a translator chip, damaged but working just enough. "I won't," Liam said, voice calm. "You're safe. I promise." She didn't believe him. Why would she? Her face showed fear. Her body trembled. Max gently licked her hand. That small act did something no words could. She relaxed, just a little. Liam knelt beside her and checked her wounds. Deep cuts, fever, infection. Her leg was broken. She needed help fast. He didn't know who she was or where she came from. But he knew this. If he left her here, she would die. He looked at Max. "This what you've been doing, huh? Bringing her food? You clever boy." Max wagged his tail. Liam nodded. "All right. Let's get her out of here." It wasn't easy. He wrapped her in an old army blanket and carefully lifted her into a wagon he once used for firewood. Max trotted beside them the whole way, alert, protective. Zira slipped in and out of sleep. Sometimes she mumbled in a language he didn't know. Sometimes she whispered words like light or war or home. But most of the time, she just watched Max. Back at the cabin, Liam laid her on a mattress near the fireplace. He cleaned her wounds using old first aid kits. He used water and alcohol, rubbing gently. She groaned in pain, but didn't fight. Her skin was tough, but not invincible. He noticed the blue blood. It had a strange smell, like metal and flowers. Liam didn't ask questions. He just worked. He had seen too many lives lost in the war. He couldn't let this one die. Not in his home. Not after Max had found her. Over the next 2 days, she barely spoke. She refused food at first, then slowly started eating. She slept a lot, but Max stayed by her side like a guardian, day and night. When she woke, Max was there. When she cried in her sleep, Max pressed his head against her arm. Liam watched quietly, amazed. Who was this girl? Why was she here? And why did she look at Max like he was her only hope? Finally, on the third night, she spoke more clearly. "My name, Zyra," she said. Liam smiled. "Zyra, that's a nice name. I'm Liam, and you've already met Max." She looked at Max, then nodded. Good. He find me." Liam leaned forward. "Where are you from?" She pointed to the stars through the window. He nodded slowly. "Thought so." Zyra closed her eyes. No want hurt. Mission. Mistake. Ship crash. I run. Then, dog come." She paused. Her eyes became wet. Save me." Liam felt something shift inside him. He had always believed aliens were a threat. That was what the world taught him. But now, sitting beside this fragile, scared being, he didn't see an enemy. He saw a girl who was lost, broken, alone. And it wasn't him who saved her. It was Max. That night, as the fire burned low, Zyra reached out and touched Max's fur gently. "He is hero," she whispered. Liam nodded. "No," he said softly. "He's a soldier. And so are you. But maybe, just maybe, you're both something better now." Zyra smiled weakly, the first real smile since she arrived. And for the first time, she felt like she wasn't dying anymore. A human's choice. The fire crackled softly in the cabin. Outside, the wind blew gently through the trees. The forest was calm. But inside Liam's heart, a storm was building. He sat in the corner, watching her. Zyra, the alien girl who should have been his enemy, but wasn't. She was asleep again, her body still healing. Max lay beside her, his head resting near her arm. Liam couldn't sleep. He stared at the blue bloodstains on the cloth he used to treat her wounds. This wasn't just a strange meeting in the forest. This was something big, something world-changing. The next morning, Zyra woke slowly. Her skin looked pale. Her eyes were tired, but she tried to sit up. Liam helped her. "Easy," he said. "Take your time." She nodded. "Better, thanks to you." Max wagged his tail and brought over a small plastic bottle filled with water. Zyra smiled and sipped carefully. Liam studied her face. "Why were you here?" he asked finally. "On Earth." Zyra's expression changed. Her hands trembled. Her voice became low. "I was sent." "By who?" She hesitated. "My people. Valeri Empire. We watch Earth. Long time." Liam frowned. "Watch? For what?" Her eyes filled with pain. "For war." Liam stood up, fists clenched. "War," he repeated. She nodded. "My mission was to find weak points, human cities, bases, technology. I send data. They attack later." Liam stepped back, angry. "So you're a spy?" "No," Zyra said quickly. "Not now. I changed." He didn't answer. Zyra pointed to Max. "He changed me." You changed me." Liam was silent. His mind raced. All his life, he had trained to fight enemies. In war, they told him to shoot first, ask later. And now, an alien spy was lying in his home. But she wasn't spying anymore. She was healing, talking, crying. She was human in all the ways that mattered. Zira looked down. "My people think humans are dangerous, violent, but they never see this." She gently placed her hand on Max's head. "This is not what we were told. We were wrong." Liam sighed and sat down again. "I've seen violence too," he said. "I've done things in war I don't like to remember. Maybe your people saw that and thought it was all we are, but we're more." Zira nodded. "I believe that now." She paused, then said something that chilled Liam's blood. "But they don't. And the fleet is coming." Liam's eyes went wide. "When?" Zira shook her head. "Soon. Maybe weeks. Maybe days. I was last scout. Others were caught. I am only one left. I never sent my report." Liam's voice dropped. "You were supposed to help start a war, but now you want to stop it." "Yes." He stood and began pacing the room. "If what you're saying is true, we need to tell someone. The military, the government." Zira panicked. "No, they will take me. They will not listen. I will disappear." She reached out, her hand shaking. "Please, I trust only you." Max barked once, as if agreeing. Liam looked down at Max, then at Zira. She was right. If the government found her, they'd lock her up, or worse. And if the Valari fleet was really on its way, there wasn't much time. Still, he couldn't do nothing. He went to a shelf and pulled down an old box. Inside it were his dog tags, a military badge, a dusty, old satellite phone. He blew the dust off and turned it on. "I know someone," he said. "Someone I trusted during the war. She's high up now. Maybe she'll listen." Zira watched him with hope in her eyes. Liam picked up the phone and stepped outside. The call was short. The voice on the other end was firm, surprised, then quiet. She agreed to meet, but not in the city. A secret base, hidden in the mountains. Liam hung up and went back inside. "We have a chance," he told Zira. "But it won't be easy." She nodded. "I will go." He packed supplies. Food, water, blankets. He fixed up the back of his truck and made space for her to lie down, hidden under tarp and bags. Zira looked around the cabin one last time. "Will I come back?" she asked. Liam didn't know, but he said, "Yes." Max jumped into the passenger seat. Zira smiled. "He comes too." "Always," Liam replied. The road was long. Hours passed. Trees became hills. Hills turned to mountains. Snow dusted the ground. Liam drove carefully, checking the mirrors again and again. Zira slept most of the way, her body still weak. Max kept his head on her chest, watching her breathe. Then, they saw it. A black gate. No signs, no soldiers, just a small red light blinking on the side. Liam stepped out, entered a code, and waited. Moments later, the gate opened. Inside the base, armed guards appeared. Guns pointed. Shouts echoed. "Step out of the vehicle." Liam raised his hands. "She's not a threat." Zira stood slowly, hands raised. She looked small, weak, nothing like a warrior. Max barked once. Loud, sharp. Everyone froze. Then a woman stepped forward. Tall, strong, wearing a dark green uniform. "Liam?" He nodded. She looked at Zira. "Is this the alien?" "She has a message," Liam said. "She wants peace." The woman didn't answer. She just stared at Zira for a long time. Then she whispered, "Let her speak." Healing and truth. Inside the mountain base, the air was cold and sharp. Zira sat on a metal bench under bright white lights. Her silver skin looked even paler now. Her wounds were healing, but her eyes were heavy, tired, afraid. She had never been inside a human base before. She expected chains, interrogations, maybe pain. Instead, she got silence. And one question: why are you really here? The woman asking was Commander Ray Lin, an old war friend of Liam's. Sharp eyes, strong voice. She didn't smile much. She didn't trust easily. Zira looked at her, then at Liam, who stood beside her like a shield. I told you, Zira said softly. I was sent as a scout, but I won't help them anymore. Commander Ray crossed her arms. Why should I believe you? Zira lowered her head. I don't ask for trust, just a chance. In the corner of the room, Max lay quietly, eyes fixed on the door. He didn't like this place. Too many guns, too much tension, too many smells of fear. He shifted slightly and growled when a soldier stepped too close to Zira. Liam rested a hand on Max's back. Easy, boy. Then he turned to Ray. She saved nothing for herself. She gave us everything she knows. At least hear her out. Ray sighed and nodded. All right. Talk. Zira took a breath. Her voice shook, but her words were strong. My people, the Valari Empire, they have watched Earth for years. From orbit, from shadows. They see your wars, your destruction, your violence. And they fear what you could become. Commander Ray raised an eyebrow. They fear us. Zira nodded. Yes. You are not like other species. You grow too fast. Too bold. Too brave. She looked up, and too unpredictable. Liam leaned forward. So they want to destroy us before we get stronger. Zira hesitated, then said, yes. The room fell silent. Zira continued. I was a scout. My mission was to study you, find weak spots, energy systems, military patterns. I was supposed to send back the data, and then leave. But you didn't, Ray said. No, Zira whispered. Because of him. She looked at Max. Everyone turned to the golden retriever. He was just lying there, calm, watching. But to Zira, he wasn't just a dog. He was something more. Max found me when I was dying. He fed me, stayed with me, showed me what kindness means. Then Liam helped too. No questions, no fear. Tears welled in her eyes. I saw more humanity in a dog's eyes than I ever saw in my own commander's. Liam's jaw tightened. Ray looked away. Zira continued. I didn't send the report. I destroyed it. That's why the Valari will come. To finish the job. To erase evidence. To stop me from talking. She paused. They will attack. Soon. And they won't come to talk. Ray's voice dropped. How soon? I don't know, Zira said. But they're already close. If they find me, they'll kill everyone I've touched. The words hit hard. Liam looked at Ray. So what now? Commander Ray didn't answer immediately. She walked to a screen on the wall and pulled up a star map. Blips moved slowly across space. One of them was red. She zoomed in. It was large, powerful, moving toward Earth. Not a satellite, not debris, a ship. Valari. We picked up this signal a few days ago, Ray said. Didn't know what it was. Now we do. Zira stood shakily. They're scanning, searching for me. Ray turned back. Then we don't have much time. Liam stepped forward. There's something else we can do. Zira looked at him. What? He nodded. We send them a message, not just any message, one they'll understand. From you. Zira shook her head. They won't listen. Yes, they will, Liam said, because you're not just a scout anymore. You're living proof that their fears are wrong. You're living proof that we can choose peace. She hesitated. What do I say? Commander Ray brought over a small device, An old but powerful transmission relay. It could send signals across space. Liam handed it to Zira. You speak your truth. Not for Earth. Not for Valari. For yourself. Zira held the device in her hands. It felt heavy, not in weight, but in meaning. She sat down, took a deep breath. Max lay beside her. Liam gave her a nod. Then she pressed the button. Her voice filled the room. And the stars. To the Valari High Command, this is Zira. Scout Unit 47A. I was sent to Earth. I completed my mission, but I will not return. She looked at Max, then at Liam. Because I found something here, something we forgot. Kindness, courage, loyalty. She swallowed. I was saved not by warriors, not by weapons, but by a dog and a man. They gave me shelter when I was weak. They fed me when I was starving. They healed me when I was broken. Her voice cracked. I was told humans are monsters, but that was a lie. She paused. I am no longer your scout. I am now a voice for peace. If you come in war, you'll find me standing in your way. She ended the message, and silence followed. Commander Ray looked stunned. Liam exhaled slowly. Max licked Zira's hand. She smiled. Now we wait. But deep in the dark silence of space, the message was received, and not everyone was happy. Some wanted war. Some were curious, and one voice whispered in reply, we want to meet this dog. Escape plan. The message had been sent. Now, the countdown had begun. Inside the mountain base, there was a new kind of silence. A heavy, waiting silence. The kind that comes before a storm. Commander Ray stood in front of a large screen, watching a red blinking dot move slowly toward Earth. They heard your message, she said. Now we wait to see how they respond. Zira sat quietly nearby, her hands folded in her lap. She looked calm, but inside, her heart was shaking. She knew how the Valari thought. She knew what they would do, and she knew they wouldn't wait long. Liam paced the room, arms crossed. How soon do you think they'll reach orbit? 2, maybe 3 days, Ray answered. But their scout drones will arrive first. Zira's head snapped up. Drones. Ray nodded. Stealth class. Fast, deadly, designed to find, track, and eliminate threats. They'll come for me first, Zira whispered. Liam looked at Ray. Then we move her. Now, Ray hesitated. We're not equipped for space war, Liam. If they send drones here, we'll be sitting ducks. Max growled low. Liam turned to Zira. You said they're scanning. Can they find your exact location? Zira slowly nodded. Yes. If they lock onto my DNA trace, they can send killbots directly. Then we don't wait, Liam said. We run. Commander Ray pulled up a digital map. There's a safe house, an old underground facility from the Cold War. It's far off-grid. No satellites. No signals. If you can get there, you'll disappear. How far? Liam asked. 70 miles. Through the woods. No roads. No trackers. Zira stood, her legs still weak but steadier now. I can walk. Liam looked at her with concern. Are you sure? I must, she said. If I stay, they'll kill everyone here. Ray clenched her jaw, then handed Liam a small drive. This has secure data, logs of the Valari signal, your message, everything we've picked up. If anything happens to us, get this to Washington. Liam took it. Then Ray did something unexpected. She bent down and scratched Max behind the ears. You keep them safe, soldier. Max wagged his tail once. Then they moved. The journey began before sunrise. Liam led the way with a flashlight and compass. Zira followed close behind, covered in a long hooded coat. Her breathing was shallow, but her steps were steady. Max stayed at her side, always alert, always listening. They moved through thick trees, over rivers, across sharp rocks. Zira stumbled once, her legs still aching. Liam caught her before she fell. "You okay?" She nodded. "I'm not weak. I never said you were." She looked at him. "You care so much, even when you're afraid." Liam didn't answer. He just kept walking. By nightfall, they reached an old fire tower. They camped inside, just the three of them. Liam lit a small flame in a metal can for warmth. Zira sat beside Max and laid her head gently against his fur. "He's more than a dog," she said softly. "He's a spirit." Liam smiled faintly. "He's the best I've ever known." They sat in silence until Max suddenly stood up. His ears twitched. His body stiffened. He growled, low and deep. Liam stood. Zira froze. "What is it?" she asked. Liam looked out through his binoculars. Far in the distance, a faint light moved unnaturally through the trees. Then another. And another. Not stars. Not animals. Drones. Valeri had found them. "We move. Now," Liam said. They packed quickly and ran. Zira tried to keep up, but her body was slowing again. Max barked and ran ahead, leading them down an unseen path, his old rescue training taking over. Behind them, a sharp whirring sound cut through the night. The first drone dropped. A sleek black machine with blinking blue lights. It scanned the ground. Liam pulled out an old EMP device from his bag. "One shot," he muttered. He waited. Then, boom. The EMP exploded, frying the drone. But it was just one. More were coming. Zira gasped and stumbled. Max doubled back and nudged her side, barking like mad. "I can't," she whispered. "Yes, you can," Liam said, lifting her arm over his shoulder. "Come on, just a bit more." They reached a river. Cold. Fast. Liam looked behind them. Drones were closing in. "Through the water," he shouted. They waded in. Freezing currents slammed against their legs. Max swam like a bullet, barking wildly to keep them moving. The river broke their trail. No scent, no heat trace. They crawled onto the other side, soaked and shaking. The drones hovered at the edge, but didn't cross. Safe, for now. They found the old facility just after dawn. A hidden entrance under a rusted steel plate, buried beneath leaves and stone. Liam entered the code. CLA&K. The door opened with a groan. Inside was silence, darkness, and safety. At least, for now. Zira collapsed onto a dusty cot. Her body ached. Her chest burned. Liam sat beside her, exhausted. Max laid between them. No one spoke for a long time. Then Zira whispered, "They won't stop. They will keep coming." "I know," Liam said. "But now, we're ready." She looked at him. "You still believe in me?" He smiled faintly. "I believe in what I've seen. And I've seen someone fight for peace when she could have chosen war." She looked at Max. "And I saw a dog choose kindness over fear." Outside, the wind picked up. And high above Earth, the Valeri fleet entered orbit. The war hadn't started yet, but it was closer than ever.